Novo lit that shit bang.
Welcome back, everybody, to Crows of Judgment. And today we'll be going over the GoogleDoc On Narrator. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Narrator has been exposed for, let me read the title here. The narrator here sexted minors amongst other things, or a compilation of evidence and recollections proving that narrator conversed sexually with minors, full well knowing their age, is abusive to some degree, and wants to cover it up amongst other things. Now, as all of you may well know, we have a sordid history about Google Docs on this channel after the pyrocynical situation. However, I was sent some details about this Google Doc before it went live. I hinted about that during our stream on Wednesday night, and it is out now. One thing I want to make very clear here before we begin. Narrator kept a file, in his own words, for 3 years on someone that he called his best buddy, then went to cancel said best buddy because he found, as he said it, the conversations he was having with a 17-year-old who was weeks away from turning 18. Well, narrator was about a year and a half older than this person, to be highly gross, disgusting, disturbing. I'm paraphrasing that part a little bit, but essentially he found his behavior just absolutely deplorable and awful in so many ways, shapes, and forms. So I see this as just a massive level of karma. So strap in, because we are going to be going through the entire Google Doc here, which is pretty detailed and has some stories from various people. But before we begin, I ask you to do this channel a quick favor. For those of you who may not be aware, we actually have the join button live now. So if you want to really support the channel, just make sure you're subscribed, drop a like on the video, leave a comment. And if you want to super support the channel, then hit the join button, because we have like little custom emojis and everything that I worked very hard. And by worked very hard, I mean I demanded that Aura send them to me so that I could upload them. All right, so we've already gone through the title, but gosh, it's a good thing I have my hookah here, because I went through parts of this and I tuned in for Senpai's home stream for roughly 10-15 minutes. Unfortunately, I was a little bit busy. Oh, wow, and someone's in here doing some edits or something. That's fun. Okay, let's begin. The times and screenshots and dates will usually be in +8 UTC. Now, I'm not an expert on time, but I think that means something, because that's the time zone of where the person who took the screenshots is, and therefore dates may be slightly off compared to American dates. Most of these screenshots were taken around October 2020. However, many of the tweets remain up on Twitter at the time of writing. And I want to clarify on a couple points here. Narrator has been trying to find stuff and has been going through the process of deleting things, so it is nice that they've taken these screenshots. Most of the names will be redacted, mainly for anonymity and not needing to be involved in the shitstorm that will presumably ensue. Please do not go out of your way to figure out what the redacted names are. Yes, you can find quite a few by looking at the linked tweets, but this is not reason to trace those people. Please do not harass anyone who has provided their story, evidence, and those who have had their names redacted. All sections were written by me, Ellie, except for Toy Teeth's section and certain extracts were noted. Please note, these are not my experiences personally. However, I wrote this document with full cooperation of both Zirconi and Toy Teeth. Now, a lot of the people who have come forward here are pretty young, and I think the person that talked about doing this Google Doc is somewhere between the ages of like 16 and 17. So let's see how this compares to Turkey Tom's Google Doc. I love Turkey Tom's Google Doc. Introduction to start with. Well, I think the notes is kind of like whatever. Let me state that what this document is not. This is not to defend Call Me Carson. This is not some sort of clout chase. What this document is a compilation of evidence and recollections relating to the narrator here, referred to as simply narrator. I don't think you need to do that. It's going to be very wordy, I take it, from here on out. And their repeated sexual relations with minors, specifically that of Zirconi and Toy Teeth. This is also a compilation of their attempts to cover this up, mislead the public, and general arrogance relating to it. Aw, narrator, you bad, filthy boy. You bad, filthy they. I apologize. Whilst narrator's response to the outing of Carson is partially what spurred the creation of this document, this was not created to defend him by disproving narrator's statements or knocking narrator's credibility on the situation. Rather, it was created due to the hypocrisy in someone like narrator denouncing and blatantly benefiting off his situation when the things they have done are much, much worse. I fully agree. The language of this document is very upfront and potentially very confronting and triggering. So if you are uncomfortable with reading proof of a grown adult inappropriately sexually conversing with minors, abuse, self-harm, slurs, self-delete, or anything in that vein, I recommend you either read with caution or do not read on, as from this point forward, things will not be tagged or censored beyond some names to prevent the mischaracterization and misrepresentation of what this document talks about. Something narrator themselves has done in the past with the previous thread talking about some of these events. Please read the entire document if you are going to read it. There will be archive links for every tweet. Oh, that's nice. Good job. And videos have been downloaded by me where relevant. So if those for some reason go down, feel free to contact me, the author, if you need those for whatever reason. I gotta say, that this is sounding like it's really well put together. Not to keep bringing up Turkey Tom's Google Doc, but I think these kids got you beat, sir. Oh, everything in threes. May 29, 2016, the narrator YouTube channel created. September 2016, Twitter account created. 2016. Mid to late 2016, narrator becomes friends with Twitter user @Zirconi. October 23rd, 2016, narrator's first Discord server is created. However, they had a Discord account well before this. No, this is just, like I said, just a general timeline. On March 12th, 2017, YouTuber Spooks releases a video claiming that narrator sent ass pics to a minor. Because of this, narrator proceeds to drink so much alcohol they need to be taken to the ER, which causes a family emergency. See corrections. Gosh, wow. This video is quickly taken down afterwards, mainly due to insubstantial evidence. Early mid-2017, Zirconi is cut off from narrator. They claim this was because Zirconi was an emotional drain. Narrator decides it is a really good idea to tweet a screenshot of Zirconi and their SO at the time. You know, as someone not as good with the internet lingos, I wish you would tell me what these things are. You're so detailed here. You should have like a little key. SO stands for, yeah, whatever. Captioning it, listening to Redbone right now, good day. This causes a big blow up on Twitter, with many creators decrying narrator, who defends their actions as finding it funny AF, and then claiming they managed to trigger everyone. During this, narrator's GameStop is called, and they get fired. Gosh. October 2nd, 2017. Solitary Confinement Podcast number 15, Narra Haters, is released onto the Solitary Confinement channel, a podcast run by narrator Call Me Carson, we'll get back to him later, and Raccoon Eggs. At 27:21, timestamped in the link in the subject of the Twitter drama is discussed, and both Call Me Carson and R.E., Raccoon Eggs, seem to find narrator in the wrong for it. Oof. Oh, boy. 2017, and he said 3 years. Well, I think I know why narrator was putting that document on his computer for 3 years, looking to cancel Carson for 3 damn years. Jesus, man. Narrator and their 2018, narrator and their partner joined the Discord server at the time, fan @Toy Teeth, where they regularly voice chat and participate in chat. Now, we went over a little bit of this on the stream on Wednesday. Link to that stream will be in the description of this video because the majority of it is talking about the stuff that Narrator was up to. And I'm not going to give you a timestamp, but at a certain point during the stream, we show the ass pic that he had allegedly sent to this minor. Call Me Carson is exposed for sexting with minors and coercing them out of nudes with his status as a larger YouTuber a few years back. Two, because I think it was like 28. No, I think it was 2019. Oh, gosh. Narrator makes a stream explaining how they and other friends of Carson were pressured to keep this information private. Narrator is highly praised for this, causing Toy Teeth to create a thread detailing their experience with Narrator around 2018 to 2019. Again, the stream we did Wednesday, link will be in the description so you can watch that. We went through that entire Twitter thread. But I find it funny that, you know, again, October 2nd, 2017, and Narrator in his hour-long QQ Bitch Fest talked about how they kept a file on their computer for 3 years looking to bury Carson with it, which is just fucking sane when you think about it. So, Zirconi's story. Oh, I'm going to need a little bit more of this. One of Narrator's first real fans was a user by the name of Zirconi, who drew a lot of fan art for them around the time Narrator began using Twitter. It was because of this that during mid to late 2016, the two struck up a friendship and would interact a lot, both on Twitter publicly and in Twitter DMs. Unfortunately, this friendship would turn into Narrator being toxic, sexually charged, and emotionally abusive towards Zirconi, ending with Narrator cutting them off around mid-2017 for being an emotional drain. While these DMs have long since vanished, with both the original @Zirconi and second @Zirconi accounts used to DM Narrator now being suspended, there is still supple proof pointing to a relationship beyond a simple friendship. They were during this time around 13 and 18, respectively. Now, I remember in the Repzilla video that I did, I said 5 years is predatory to me, right? Because that's not within the same generation, and you have absolutely no fucking defense for doing something like that, you piece of shit. To start, I would like to present a statement from Zirconi themselves. To summarize everything DM-wise, and I don't know how it started, but Narrator and I would engage in sexual role plays in Twitter DMs. They would get weirdly lewd with me in DMs and bring up other sexual topics, even send me images of, oh gosh, which they already had, oh gosh, and or selfies with said, oh my goodness. So Narrator, chatting with a 13-year-old, was exchanging, oh my gosh. Well, that's the accusation, everybody. That's the accusation. All right, that is the claim. But given Narrator's stance on all this stuff, I find it oh too fucking hilarious and sick and gross and disgusting, especially given how Narrator and Narrator and Carson's group all called out Carson for a 2-year, like a 1.5 to 2 years and 1 month age gap between him and this other girl. And they all were really disgusted by the victims of by the victims' statements about Carson. You know, the victims, the horny groupies. So I assume that all of Narrator's associates who called out Call Me Carson are looking to crucify Narrator, because if you don't, it's just going to look really fucking weird, isn't it? I have a very clear and vivid memory of them pushing their emotional breakdown onto me at the time, too. Emotional blackmail. They sent me a photo of their freshly done self-harm cuts on their arm. This, of course, really freaked me out. I also clearly remember them posting a video of themselves saying hello to their audience, but was very obviously showing off what they did to themselves. I don't know why they did this, but they took it down shortly. Someone else messaged me at the time asking if Narrator was okay, and then it was my own responsibility to make sure they were okay. I was only so young at the time of this happening, and I remember being deeply scarred from it, considering I had my own issues with self-harm back then, and I still do today. Okay, Repzilla compared Call Me Carson. I know I'm going to reference that case a lot here, right? Compared Call Me Carson to Minilad, right? I would say that if these claims are to be believed, Narrator is absolutely much closer to Minilad, if not the exact same level, because that's something that Minilad was doing to that 13-year-old mod, stating like if they told anybody, they would off themselves, right? That's, yeah. Oh, man. Weirdly lewd, the few snippets that Narrator themselves posted of their DMs to Twitter show this side pretty well. Note that these were all taken a mere few days apart, and again, all posted by Narrator. Narrator, I fucking hope you get a... I'm not going to say that, so that was from Zircone. Riley asking the real questions. When will we see Narrator in thigh highs? And then conversations with @Zircone. So, I guess that's just proof that they were doing this stuff together. While I cannot directly find the video nor the replies to said tweet, there still exists self-harm art, again posted by Narrator themselves, created by Zircone, depicting both with self-harm scars. Oh, gosh. That is Narrator's account, and that would be the... Oh, gosh. Yeah, so this is reminding me of both Slazo and Minilad hard fucking core. Well, what does this prove? Well, this proves that Zircone and Narrator had a toxic friendship behind the scenes. It does not prove that the two had any sort of emotional relationship, which is why I will now show you this selection of screenshots. Go follow @Zircone, please. He is so good. Go follow @Zircone Good Art. He's a good artist. You go follow @Zircone. So basically telling people to follow him. Follow him or I'll be disappointed. Go follow Zircone or death. I mean, given the context of the self-harm images. Narrator liked to shill for Zircone a lot at the time. Which, I mean, yikes. One could pass this off as normal creator supporting fan behavior, but interaction between the two was so common and close that people began to ship the two. @Zircone, take me by the hand. Oh, wait, your new name here is Ocean Man. Does that mean you are on a ship with @Narrator here? Best ship. Why, though? It's a cute ship. Images. I love you like you're my little brother. I have a little brother, and, yeah. Oh, boy. We'll get back to the brother tweet later. Please tell me no. Now, again, typical fan behavior, as you can see, demonstrated quite often on Twitter these days. However, Narrator never refuted this, despite Zircone only being 13 and Narrator being 18. Instead, actively encouraging this behavior, even signal boosting fan art, shipping the two. Oh, gosh. A little more suspicious, but again, possibly still harmless. At least the hand-holding ones anyways. The right, blatantly sexual art is a bit more telling. But again, it doesn't insinuate anything serious, right? Oh, fuck indeed. Jesus Christ. So, okay, I need more of this shit. Oh, God. So, you have Narrator doing weirdly sexual stuff, right? But the thing is, if the person's 13 and you're 18, right? I can't say, like, okay, I mean, there's some fan art, right? But, you know, self-harm fan art, people are shipping you with a 13-year-old and you're, like, putting that stuff out there. And, you know, based on his story, I mean, I get that that's not definitive proof, right? And hope maybe there's some more. I mean, that image right there is okay, so how do I say this? Oh shit. Okay. This to me is holy shit. 18 and 13. Yes, I do have major fucking issues with that. That comes across as deeply fucking predatory to me. And again, narrator who called out Call Me Carson because 19 and 17 actually going on 18, right? Like, and you're doing like self-harm art and shit too. Like that is, this wasn't the last time narrator would directly participate in this either. Narrator would say, I love you and you need me quite a bit. What applies to this person? Draws with a fucking knife. Jeez. I want to die. What? Okay, so inhales. What's a web page? Something ducks walk on. Sorry, narrator, but I think it's best to put them down. Hands pistol. Yeah, right. I'm doing this because I love you, at Zircone. Why am I friends with you, Zircone? Because you need me with a knife. Dude. I love you more, no homo. I love you, loser, no homo. Don't make me re-block you. Author's note, joke tweet where Zircone threatens to block narrator. You wouldn't, you need me with kissy faces and dresses. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say that, well, this is all very circumstantial. Some of it definitely crosses a fucking line, and the person's goddamn 13, which is, Also, narrator for a while had this as their avatar, a very interesting choice of art. Little Hardy face, 13-year-old. The most suspicious of these participations, however, lie in a video posted without prompt by narrator proclaiming their apparently platonic love for Zircone. I'm referring to Zircone as like a little brother to me. Well, that, folks, would be the really nasty incest kind of stuff. Given all those images, holy shit. The constant switching between like a brother and I love you, while admittedly strange, is again not weird isolated. However, do take notice of the art in the background, which features a lot of art of narrator holding Zircone's Sona. Furries are just fucking weird to me. A recurring theme in this artwork. Also of note is the wish to come visit Zircone. Did narrator know their actual age? A valid concern and one addressed by Zircone themselves. I should probably add that at the time, narrator was originally unaware of my age, but they did continue to do many questionable things towards me. Not once did they ask or show concern about my age until an old friend at the time confronted me about the age gap, as they had thought that me and narrator were actually in a relationship, which we weren't. Which I then revealed my age towards them. They did express concern, however, they still kept me close and referred to me as their little brother, even after everything. So that's when the little brother stuff comes up. Because of this, narrator would soon go on to distance themselves from me, but, well, I mean, at least there's that. But at the time, I didn't really notice because I was too young and just unaware of my surroundings to consider what the fuck was happening. If you were there around that era, you probably would have heard a rumor somewhere saying narrator was only using me for free art. And for a long time, I believed that was just it and that it didn't really matter and I was overreacting about everything that led to the downfall of our friendship. It wasn't until I had a look at the bigger picture I realized that a lot more happened. Well, it's unknown if narrator was aware at first of Zircone's age. The lack of concern and the unbothered to ask for age is both irresponsible and already suspicious. And that was one of the claims against Pyrocynical. Now, I said that based on, because I want to address some criticism people might have towards me being disgusted with this and not really feeling the same way about the Pyrocynical situation. My statements there were that Pyrocynical had every right to assume the person that they were meeting in these 18 and up chats, not servers, but rooms engaging in erotic role play, which is what Pyrocynical's accuser was up to at the time. Pyrocynical would likely assume that that person is an adult. Now, I don't know how narrator meets with Zircone, but one thing that came out against narrator, and it's probably later on this Google Doc, is that he would regularly exchange porn in Discord servers where there's no 18 and up, and in channels that were like general chats where everyone had access to them. So, yeah, I would say that narrator should have been more concerned with the person that he had just met in kind of like a general chat or just like a general fan of his versus someone, in like an 18 and up chat. But I mean, you're 18 and they're 13, and like even after the fact, you don't actually like what the fuck, dude? You start calling them your little brother, and like some of those images. Let me just go back up here, right? Some of those images, like right over here, is really disturbing, and people are shipping you and shit. Like I don't know, man. Like I God damn, this is rough. Okay, let me go back, right? Okay, so well, it's unknown if narrator was aware at first of Zakone's age, lack concern, and the unbothered to ask for age is both irresponsible and already suspicious. However, this does not prove that they had a complete disregard for the age gap, but possibly just didn't know of it in the first place. This at least before the 26th of January 2017. Why that date? Aren't you 18 and isn't he like 13? So someone actually... Oh, and he deleted the tweet too. Interesting. Aren't you like 18 and isn't he like 13? Narrator knew their actual age. Okay. Throughout my research, I found that narrator does not seem to be someone who deletes tweets, no matter how bad they look. I can prove this easily because their tweets from that time are filled with the typical edgy slur use common from the era. Oh shit, call me PewDiePie because I'm 18. Okay. Oh, okay. I think that's the gamer word. Jesus Christ, you get the idea. To be presented with a deleted narrator tweet, the only one I managed to ever find, at least with a reply to prove it was there, was interesting to say the least. So what was the contents of the tweet that got it to the chopping block? The tweet that was deleted was a post by narrator saying me and them were dating, by the way. Oh, goodness. So, narrator publicly presented with the information that Zirconi was 13 at that age gap was disgustingly massive, deleted the tweet at a first for them. This is possibly the only responsible action taken by narrator in this entire doc, and it was taken to cover their ass. Performative, one might say. This means in every tweet made after the date of this reply, January 26, 2017, narrator is not only definitively aware of Zirconi's age, but okay with the actions that they are taking with Zirconi despite the age gap. This includes... why am I friends with you? Because you need me. So they're posting the nice. Good job. Oh, even the self-harm shit. Oh my gosh. Posting art of the two with cuts on their arms, being okay with someone young and impressionable, making the art in the first place. Okay. So you definitely knew that they were 13. You 100%... Narrator 100% knew that they were 13. I mean, they deleted the tweets, according to this person making the accusation, was saying that they were dating at the time. Narrator went through the efforts of deleting the tweet. It's not like this was like them regular purging their Twitter account because these other stuff's active, right? But you were still doing it at least 2 months after you knew that they were 13. Instigating and participating in sexually charged conversations with a 13-year-old as an 18-year-old. But like even the self-harm stuff, like the cuts on your arms and shit. Why would you do that with a 13-year-old? If you want to say, well, that wasn't sexual, why would you share, like, fucking images of, like, cutting yourself and shit? Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Dude. And posting this unprompted video where you say that you love them and that you would love to come down and be with them only a few days after that original reply, by the way. So, fuck, man. So wait, what ended it then? Speculating, it appears that narrator distanced themselves from Zirconi due to the age gap, not because of the issues with the age gap, but rather a video uploaded on March 12th by Spooks, accusing narrator of sending their ass to a minor. We showed that on stream on Wednesday. Well, the video itself has been wiped off YouTube due to the video having insufficient evidence and lost by the creator themselves. The same night the video was uploaded, narrator both acknowledged it by denying any of it was true and proceeding to drink themselves so drunk. They said, see, so basically they got blackout drunk, I guess, after acknowledging that it was, goddamn. Interactions between narrator and Zirconi suspiciously quickly diminished afterwards. So you got called out for the ass pic sent to someone who was 15, right? That video got taken down, but you did acknowledge the shit. You got fucking drunk, like blackout drunk, and that's what got you to stop the relationship with the 13-year-old. Was someone accused? God, fuck. Okay. This is like Mini Lad, right? This is well beyond anything Call Me Carson is accused of. Well fucking beyond it. So I really do expect, I really do expect all the fucking mentally deficient former friends of Call Me Carson to call out narrator, because there's actual proof that he was willfully engaging with a 13-year-old and doing some weird, nasty shit, including the little fucking shipping images and shit and saying that they need him, and fucking like the cutting images and shit. Like, fuck. Interactions between narrator and Zirconi suspiciously quickly diminished, yada yada. With neither of them interacting by April. And so it went on till March 12th, right? Okay, so March 13th is like the last one. Sorry, March 26th, well, that one. March 20th, oh gosh. It wasn't until April that you finally fucking stopped. I wonder why. Man. Okay. This is already a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I got shown some of those images and stuff and said that like they knew he was 13, but I didn't know it was this. Oh my gosh. The last known tweet from narrator with Zirconi tagged was made on April 9th. And the last tweet directly addressing Zirconi from narrator from March 31st. Well, it can be assumed they continued speaking afterwards in private for a short while longer. It seems all contact between the two soon stopped, with narrator blocking Zirconi sometime before June that same year. Narrator claimed this is because they were an emotional drain. I mean, was it? Were you emotionally drained because you were being outed for sending an ass pic to a 15-year-old, and you were knowingly engaged in sexually charged conversations with a 13-year-old? Well, you were 18. Were you 5 years fucking older? Okay, so we're moving on to the next story. This section is written by Alec, aka Toy Teeth. This section may be more concise as I lack screenshots. However, I still carry evidence for certain aspects of my story. I was 14 when I started speaking to narrator, which would be late 2018, early 2019. This would land narrator at 20 years old, just like Zirconi. I was a fan of narrators and I drew them a lot of artwork at the time. Just for reference, here's some pieces I drew at the time. Turkey Tom, there's a bulge in this picture. There's a bulge in this picture. Turkey Tom, I need a Google Doc from you. Quick. I know there's already a Google Doc, but I need a Google Doc from you to react to. Please, sir. Please come back. Come back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the mean things I said. Just come back and do a Google Doc about the bulge. Winter was the first soda. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I'm laughing. It's just, I am so deeply fucking disgusted. Right? I gotta go back to this really quick before I move on. I'm deeply fucking disgusted that this person was actually aware that it was a 13-year-old that they were doing this stuff with, right? Now, the poster, like, this person who came forward with the story said they had not told narrator their age, right? But, as we see, January 26th, right? Aren't you, like, 18 and isn't he, like, 13? This stuff continued all the way through March, and it only stopped, right? It only stopped because you got outed for sending your ass to a 15-year-old, right? And that's when you dropped the relationship with 13-year-old, right? Because you were being outed for the 15, which shows to me that you definitely knew what you were doing was wrong. But had that shit not come out, you would have kept this shit going with a 13-year-old. And you were perfectly fine with that until somebody outed you, which, I mean, to me is, I mean, if we're, I mean, that is pedophilic behavior to me. That is 100% the P word to an extreme degree, right? That is predatory to me, right? The fact that you were doing like self-harm images with them and shit, right? I fuck, man. Winter was the persona I produced for them after drawing them as quite a few different animals at the time. Narrator shared this around, making fun of my art publicly, primarily because it was furry art. They gave me a bit of a following, just enough for me to decide to open a Discord server. The only reference I could find of the server was the name and the icon. So, Narrator in direct messages. Most of this image was censored as the screenshot was taken from another user that was in the server at the time. The name can clearly be seen under the voice call RTC disconnected, which shows they were in voice chat for Gamer Den, the name of my server at the time. The icon is a Minecraft house on fire. The only two people uncensored in this are Narrator and Winter, which was Narrator's furry Discord account. Their behavior within the server was heinous to say the least. They were aggressive within voice calls. According to another member, they would get upset if someone wasn't there. They would lash out in chat, voice chat, DMs, etc. Overall, they had a childish behavior and threw fits if things didn't go their way. However, Narrator would constantly lull me into a false sense of security by DMing me about things and being infinitely nicer through DMs. Although they had deleted all their messages, presumably due to the fact that they saw my thread on Twitter, some messages I send them can fill gaps of things they would say to me. Now, I'll just be very clear here. I'm going to take this person at their word only because Narrator, right, willfully engaged with a 13-year-old in sexually charged conversations and had to have been aware because they deleted their tweet, right, after they were contacted and said, aren't you 18, isn't he 13? But then they kept that shit going with them for at least another 2 to 3 months and only stopped because they were outed sending their ass pic to a 15-year-old, which, according to the 15-year-old, was unprompted. Okay, all right. So, I love you too, man. Honestly, you might be a bit of a gremlin sometimes, but I love and support you in your gremliness. You have your good boy moments. Now, see, that's a gremlin moment. You're right. You better frame it. To be honest, I'd buy one, but I'm poor. If I do, I'll be sure to hit you up. Part of a conversation had with them, messages were clearly deleted. I love you too, man. Just show that you would message me things such as I love you, with even in a platonic sense, is weird to DM someone 6 years younger than you, so he was 20 at this time, especially when you're an adult. I would also share DMs they had sent another user, the same person, the Discord server screenshots. All right, not wearing, damn, I'm fuming. Imagine Winter being too small for the diaper. Oh, I forgot about your diaper fetish, Narrator. Jesus, dude. This was a common occurrence. They would pester me to draw weird fetishy stuff, and they would constantly talk about their fetishes in the server. At the time, I didn't really know any better. I just told them I had art block. The worst interactions I had with Narrator was the constant porn they would send to the Discord server, most commonly furry porn. They had one distinct piece they would spam constantly. This was an image of Wrecking Ball or Hammond from the game Overwatch having sex with the cute fucking hamster from Overwatch with the fucking gorilla from Overwatch. For those of you, I found that out. I thought Hammond was the fucking dwarf. I was like, well, I mean, the bestiality shit's fucking disgusting. And then I realized a hamster can fit in your hand, and a gorilla is like 2 times the size of a person. So, oh God, I need more. Although asked multiple times not to, Narrator continued to send porn to the main channel, causing me to have to make them their own channel for this content. They since deleted everything from their fur affinity as well, but here's more evidence of their weird fetishes, of which they shared with minors. I mean, it was a 14-year-old who created this server, and Narrator is 6 years older, and we already know that Narrator was knowingly engaging with a 13-year-old. Now, I'm willing to say, he's grossly irresponsible for not verifying the age and everything, given that those two did not meet in any sort of adult setting, right? But when Narrator was aware that they were 13, continued doing it for another couple months, at least. So, yeah, I fully believe that this person is being honest when they say that this stuff was being sent in their Discord server when they're 14, because we've seen Narrator will exchange pornographic stuff within his own Discord, in which it's not like there's no age gap. There's no like 18 and up block on that server. This artwork, which can be seen in a screenshot taken from their fur affinity, which involves their fiance. That would be Sushivore. Poor Winter is caught up in his boyfriend's lunch. As you can see, it mentions Winter, the persona I created for Narrator. Yep, and these are some of the titles. Fluffy Ball of Hate probably refers to that poor hamster that got yeeted by a fucking gorilla. By a fucking gorilla. These are the titles of the artwork of mine they posted to Fur Affinity. Lunch is the title of the artwork from the previous screenshot. The artwork is not mine. And here's proof of association with Fur Affinity before they cleared their profile. So Narrator has been actually making an effort to delete all this stuff, but people have saved enough of it so you can see that, yes, this was Narrator doing this. And here's proof of association on Fur Affinity before they cleared their profile. We stopped speaking in 2019 after I got upset with them for unknown reasons, presumably something they said, and they lashed out on me. I deleted them on Discord and blocked them on that Twitter account, and that's the end of what I went through. Other things of note. To summarize this section, things I did not have enough material to write up fully about, or things not relevant to either of the main stories, yet still worth talking about in relation to this. Spook's video and Narrator allegedly sending their ass to a minor. As noted on the timeline on March 12, 2017, YouTuber Spooks posted a video accusing Narrator of sending their ass to a minor. Narrator responded relatively quickly, denying that this video proved they like kids. Well, I think we've proven that you will engage sexually with a 13-year-old at the age of 18, which to me and would imply that at the very least you're open to children, which to me, I mean, it is I mean, you're at least at the level of mini lad at this point. Narrator responded relatively quickly, yada yada, and got so drunk that they need to be taken to the ER, which caused a family emergency, in Narrator's words. This video was taken down soon after due to a lack of evidence, and the minor that received the pic saying that they did not mind, according to Spooks. Narrator wore women's underwear and sent him pics of his saggy ass. But I took it down because I didn't have enough evidence at the time, as the kid Narrator sent ass pics to said he didn't mind, which is still bad. Well, given that Narrator shares porn with minors, I mean, it would make sense that fans of his who are engaging in him with that stuff wouldn't actually care about seeing his ass. I hunted down any remnants of either this situation or the video, which Spooks themselves have lost, of which few remain. Only a couple tweets specifically referring to it are still up, most presumably deleted or lost, as this was commentary community drama, and everyone at the time had a tendency to get suspended, which wipes all their tweets. Without concrete proof, this thread was not worth chasing. But I feel it is still relevant to the situations above. Well, I mean, when you've established that he's with a 13-year-old and doing sexual shit with a 13-year-old, and we know that he shares porn with minors on two different Discord servers, one he owns and one's run by a 14-year-old, yeah, I would say that is pretty relevant. Narrator's 2017 Twitter drama extravaganza. Oh, boy. Before Narrator broke off all contact with Zirconia, interactions with the two were already soaring souring before the release of Spook's video, presumably due to Zirconi at the time's boyfriend. Okay. Well, I'm not able to prove this was the concrete statement. Tweets between the three at the time, while narrator still associated with Zirconi, show a distaste and possible jealousy for their relationship and the boyfriend in particular. Note, all red censor bars are the boyfriend or any mention of his name. Oh, well, that's nice. Okay. These images are really hard to see. Do not block. I'm going to put the link to this in the description so you can go through this entire thing. We're on page 23 right now. Do not block. Do you understand? Do not ever, ever, ever block me, you stinky man. Do not be mean to Riru. I will make you eat fucking glass, narrator. Grr. I'm a steal Zircone from blank for a day. Oh, okay. So, okay, all right. And this is March. This is after he knows that that the kid is 13. Gosh. Blank is my new best friend. I'll block you if you ever say that again. Blank is my new best friend. Neri's distaste for the boyfriend was proven later on. Because he's a spastic cunt who attacks me for no real reason. It could be that you're 18 engaging with their 13-year-old boyfriend. That would maybe be it. I cut ties with Riley because he was too much of too emotionally handle for me. I blocked Blank because he's an annoying cunt, people making shit up. Oh, narrator. This all led to narrator creating a tweet on 28th December, which served no purpose but to stir up drama. Listening to Redbone right now, good day, and then showing that they had blocked these two. This, of course, caused a full Twitter shitstorm with many figures in the community around narrator throwing their thoughts in on them. Most of these are, again, lost to time, as much of the community had a habit of getting suspended, which they mentioned. Do you honestly think people like you after showing that you blocked two people, one of which you only blocked because they're dating, and you knew this person was 13? You are physically embodiment of childish tantrum. Yeah, I mean, he did try to punch someone, punched a wall, and then tried to throw a shoe at someone and missed after missing the original punch and hitting a wall. At the time, it was also believed that narrator had used Zirconi and their friendship for free art only. This is actually not true. However, the narrative was perpetuated so strongly that Zirconi themselves believed it for a while. I know Zirconi has no clue who started this rumor, but it is the only accusation that doesn't have weight. Also, for reference, narrator's defense was they only tweeted this because they found it funny. Narrator behind the scenes. This above tweet prompted others to share their experience with narrator. While not grossly sexual in nature like the ones we have talked about, they still show that they're a sad asshole. Okay, so, one sec. What we can confirm, right, 100%, is that, holy shit, is that Ivory's avatar? That looks like Ivory's avatar, holy shit. Right? That does look like Ivory's avatar. I mean, it's probably not, but it just reminds me of the Ivory, the bird accuser, pyrocynical. But I want to be as clear as I can here. This Google Doc has already established that narrator was engaged in highly sexually charged conversations with Zirconi, knowing before and after they knew Zirconi was 13, that they threw a tantrum at Zirconi because they found out Zirconi had a boyfriend. So, kind of seems like narrator was really into the 13-year-old. Holy shit. Well, we can confirm that narrator is definitely 1,000% worse than anything that he has criticized Carson for. And yeah, I do expect, I would highly expect that the people went on Drama Alert, the people who talked about how they supported narrator after his video, right? The former friends of Call Me Carson, who all took great issues with his interactions with someone who was 2 years, 1 year and some months to 2 years older than the person that they were with. I would imagine that they're going to take a very hardline stance on narrator here, and all do videos about how narrator, their former friend was engaged with a 13-year-old and threw a tantrum when they found out that that 13-year-old had a boyfriend, because apparently that made them very jealous, which would he made I'm going to put a link in the description of this video if you find this stuff gross and disgusting. That way you can file a report with CyberTips, which handles this sort of thing legally, because I kind of feel like we're at that stage. And let professionals talk about this, because I kind of feel like we're in that area right now. Covering your ass, aka the coward's way out. Okay, so now we talk about him deleting shit. As this document was being written, multiple things of note happened, all of which served to worsen the hole the narrator has dug themselves into here. A response. Narrator finally responded to the thread made by Toy Teeth in over 2-hour stream, mainly consisting of increasingly drunk OSU and Minecraft gameplay. Wedged in there about half an hour into the stream, narrator addresses it by claiming it was only about them saying slurs, sending NSFW into an NSFW channel, rather than the main channels as was alleged in the thread. Narrator was sending porn and their disgusting fetishes, including a diaper fetish, in a main chat of a Discord server run by a 14-year-old. Way to gaslight people, you sad sack of human shit. You, to me, in my opinion, as evidenced in this thread already, are a pedo. You specifically, at 18, 5 years the older of someone, were having very, very highly sexually charged conversations with a 13-year-old, and became very jealous that that 13-year-old already had a boyfriend. You are disgusting. You are fucking disgusting. You are fucking disgusting. If I ever saw you in real life, the shit that I would do to you, I can't say on YouTube because that would get me fucking banned outright. But believe me, a lot of it involves a rusty fork, and you potentially not surviving the experience of being, never being able to do anything sexually ever again. Allegedly in Minecraft. Go fuck yourself. Oh man, I'm glad I have the hookah to calm me down right now. Oh, you asshole, you fucking disgusting human being. Wedged in there about yada yada. And that it accused them of being a furry, an understatement. Sushivore, and hamsters being fucked by gorillas. Narrator then said they did not want to feed the thread and therefore would not name the person who made it, show the tweet, or even excerpts of the apparently partially false thread, and then went on back to OSU. Well, I mean, I imagine you didn't want people actually seeing what was being said about you. I don't think it was about drawing attention to it. Narrator, well, I mean, you didn't want to draw attention to it. Narrator had previously acknowledged the thread by blocking Toy Teeth on Twitter and vaguely tweeting to stop following them because they are an asshole. Tweeted immediately after blocking them, trying to jokingly play off the situation, despite the seriousness of the thread's actual main accusation, the gross inclusion of Toy Teeth in discussion of fetishes and NSFW chats, not appropriate for a minor. However, if that's not enough to be considered gross sexual interactions with a minor, or to prove that narrator knew their age, here are DMs narrator had with them. Note, they went by the name Evan at this time, acknowledging their age of 14, yet still participating in the sexual discussions of thighs. So this is all really hard to see. Let's go in a little bit further here. No you. What does that mean, narrator? Evan, you can't do worse than Josh did. Narrator sent you direct message. Even you can't do worse than Josh. Look at those thighs. Narrator sent you a direct message. Look at those thighs. God damn. Evan, you're 14. Narrator sent a direct message. Okay, well, I mean, you clearly knew the age. So you knew the age of the 13-year-old that you were doing this shit with, and you knew the age of the 14-year-old that you were doing this shit with. The hunt for old bad tweets. Disproving my own statement earlier in the document, Narrator had once again deleted at least a few tweets and gone searching for other older tweets of theirs too. The easiest two to find are, funnily enough, in reply to Toy T's thread, wherein a replier has linked 2 tweets apparently insulting YouTuber Apollo Legend after... You attacked a man who had just... You attacked Apollo Legend after he had... Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. After knowing that you were sexual... This is to Narrator, right? After knowing that you were sexually engaging with a 13-year-old and threw a fucking tantrum because they already had a boyfriend, after you knew that they were 13, and that you knew that there was a 14-year-old and you were in their server discussing your porn and sharing your disgusting gross fetishes in the general chat of a 14-year-old's Discord server, yeah, you're already like one of the most disgusting people that I've seen on YouTube in a while. You also went on to insult Apollo Legend after he had committed suicide. You absolute fucking monster. You terrible piece of shit. You are a fucking monster, and you're fucking calling out Call Me Carson. You put a fucking 3-year folder together. You were putting shit together for 3 years to go after Call Me Carson. Meanwhile, you're doing this shit. You fucking monster. These tweets were at least up at the time of these replies and would have been deleted after Narrator saw them in a reply to the thread. For reference, Apollo Legend was found... So these tweets have been up for up to a week before they were linked in this thread, yet deleted soon after. On searching for old tweets, this actually occurred as soon as the Carson situation was public on Twitter, just after Narrator had finished their stream on it. After this, they liked 2 random tweets mentioning Narrator from 2017, 1 fanart and 1 Twitch emote they had approved back then. So this is just going over that stuff. I mean, I think you've already kind of destroyed this person, right? And justly so. So I hope we're wrapping up now. This is notable as before and after this date, Narrator never repeated this behavior, which means that for some reason or another, the Carson situation prompted Narrator to look for old tweets relating to them around 2017 specifically. I wonder why that could be. Yeah, me too. As if I have ever been a PG-13. So Narrator then goes on to say, like, he's never been a PG-13 content creator. So this is all bullshit. I don't care if you do content for fucking 50-year-old dudes, right? I don't care if there's an 18 or an NC-17 warning that flashes before every single video and live stream that you do. That does not in any way, shape, or form make it okay for you to have sexually charged conversations knowingly with a 13-year-old, get jealous that the 13-year-old has a boyfriend, because I think we all know why, and being in a 14-year-old's Discord server and sharing fucking porn and your fucking fetishes and a pornographic video of a fucking gorilla fucking a goddamn hamster, you sick, disgusting fucking monster. But yeah, Narrator's response to all this has basically been to gaslight people and not actually address any of the things being claimed about him, because he's a sick and disgusting trash human being. The most recent addition to this awful string of responses is the tweet that the subsequent replies denying Narrator had been a PG-13 creator. If that's the case, then why actively interact, be friends with minors you know the ages, especially 13 and 14 years old, if the audience you appeal to is meant to be adult? Basic logic. To break professionality, this reply section is admittedly hilarious as Narrator grapples with the threat of their actions by coming to bite them in the ass with zero defenses for it. Also, you haven't actively used your Discord server since mid-2018. Because... this is recent. Hello, Narrator. You are in your Discord server. This is not from 2018. All these were taken the 14th of January, same day the tweet was posted. Be glad I'm not posting this stuff with slurs in it. Another note, after this tweet, every single invite link to the server was killed, even some dating back to 2016. Presumably, no one could double-check Narrator's claims of the server being dead. It is still up at the writing of this document. I think we all know what the conclusion is. Narrator is a goddamn pedo. You were 18 having sexually charged conversation with a 13-year-old and getting jealous that they had a boyfriend. Like, what the fuck, dude? And you share fucking porn with minors. You shared porn on a Discord server run by a 14-year-old. I mean, what the fuck, man? I mean, yeah, I'm very comfortable saying you're a goddamn fucking pedo and you should be yeeted off the goddamn internet, get fucking Minecrafted, and get emasculated in Minecraft with a rusty fork, and hopefully not survive that experience. In summary, narrator is a bad person, repeatedly inappropriate sexual conversations with the internet with minors, full well knowing their ages, and then trying to downplay it or cover it up. I'm not particularly sure what else to write, but the evidence is damning. Also, using someone else's awful situation to boost your own status, both morally and socially, is disgustingly hypocritical when you've done things that are infinitely worse. As a side note, you may notice by now that narrator only seems to take action whenever directly faced with being exposed, whether it's deleting a tweet because an age gap is pointed out, or cutting off a strained sexual relationship with that same minor because they allegedly sent their ass to a different minor and were at risk of being canceled. It seems assured destruction is the only thing that caused the narrator to be responsible. Funny that. Narrator Twink stop manipulating artists and go back to making shitty copy pasta readings. So these are some of the corrections. I stated that narrator had drank so much on 12th of March that they ended up in the ER. This is not true. Rather, their mother ended up in the ER, according to narrator themselves. Apologize for the misrepresentation. I had misread the tweet. Everything else still stands. P.S. Family emergency was in quotes because I wasn't sure if narrator was joking or not, relating to the misread of the original tweet. Okay, and then they have an whole archive link of all of this stuff. A lot of this stuff. A fuck ton of this stuff. Okay, so guys, that is the 37-page Google Doc exposing that narrator willfully engaged in sexually charged conversations at 18 with a 13-year-old, and at 20 was in a Discord server run by a 14-year-old sharing porn, and also was insulting Apollo Legend after they committed suicide. So, yeah, well, I could say that this person is probably worse than even fucking Mini Lad, and it's highly fucking hypocritical that narrator was plotting the cancellation of Call Me Carson for 3 years, compiling evidence of what a terrible person that man was, and took a strong moral stance against Call Me Carson being 2 years older and, you know, sexting with fucking horny ass groupies. Guys, that's the video. I'm uploading this whole thing in full. No cuts for the hookah breaks or anything, because this is definitely a longer video and everything, and I think you need to understand. The only thing the way I could keep saying was smoking so much fucking hookah. But this conversation will be in the this Google Doc will be in the description. The stream we did on Wednesday will be in the description, and there will be a link to cyber tips in the description. If you feel that narrator has crossed a line legally, because I sort of feel that they have, and I think that they should. I really do feel like they should be reported to the proper authorities at this point. So if you can do me a favor, if you feel the same way, file that tip with cyber tips. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Thank you so much, and hopefully something gets done about this person, because this is someone who's not only done this, but actively seeks to, you know, cancel others for far less shit sexually, who actively seeks to hide and gaslight and downplay their absolutely disgusting, amoral, trash behavior. I'll see you guys all in the next video. And again, thank you so much for the support you've shown the channel, and we really do appreciate everything. But this has been an absolute fucking shit show.
Nova, let that shit bang.